Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to do some UI for our inventory system. So I guess this is like the more like last part of the inventory that we'll be doing. So I just want us to add like a graphic visualization of our inventory. We want to see the items in our bag. Also, if you've been following the tutorial in the last video, which did very awesome, I was really pleased with the feedback that you guys did watching the video for that. In that numbers was amazing for me. So in our last video, we had refined our pickup. We could press F and we could see the items that we're picking. So I'll go ahead and disable the breakpoint just to confirm. Sorry, hit play. So when you pick something, you can see it's counting the number of batteries that we have. Yeah, which is great. So now, what I want us to do is basically create a UI for our pickup system, so our inventory. We want to be able to see the items that are in our bag. So to do that, I'll quickly go to blueprints under UI and I'll create another widget blueprint, or rather I can duplicate this and I'll call it let me call it widget blueprint inventory. Yeah, so I'll open it quickly and delete everything, and I'll start by adding an overlay. Just type in search overlay, add this one here, and I'll change this to fill screen. Remember it was on desired, so I'll change that to fill screen. If you're duplicating or maybe you're creating a new one, it's okay. So right here, I want us to do a size box to be able to control the size of like our icons and widgets that we have in our inventory. So I'll say size box, set that up. I'll set it just I'll place mine in the middle, just right there, override and set up the size. Maybe go with 600 and I'll go with 800. Yeah, that's fair enough. So right here, I want us to be able to create this widget once we are close. Once we want to view everything that's in our bag, or everything that's in our possession. So I'll go ahead and add a scroll box. And after adding it, I'll make sure all the alignments are fully horizontal and fully vertical. Then I'll compile that. Then on our size box, I can just add, let's say maybe a title to show that this is our bag. So I'll go ahead and cut this and add an horizontal box. Not horizontal, sorry, rather vertical. Drag that here. Also make sure that its alignment is to fill. And then now let's add our scroll box, Control V. So it's inside. We can set that to fill and then I'll add another text, and I'll add it to the vertical box, and I'll say so I'll move it upwards, and I'll name it, I'll set it at the center, and I'll name it items. Yeah, quickly save that. Then we can go to our character. The way to open it is just selecting the character on the screen, press Ctrl E, and then I want us to be able to press a button. So we press the button, maybe let's say tab, and it will open our bag, our inventory. So I'll just quickly do another input action to open our bag. So I'll go to blueprints, input, and after move around, and after interact, I'll just duplicate interact, and I'll name it to show inventory. And then I'll add it to the default, and add mapping, show inventory. That's okay. I'll go back to our player, and under the comment section of the inputs, I'll just call show inventory. There we have it. So I want us to be able to open the bag and close it just with the same button. So quickly I'll bind this to our tab. I'll press this key here and then press tab. It's now bound. Then I'll go to on started, and I'll do a flip-flop. So a flip-flop is a type of execution where it does A for the first time and it will do B for the next time. So it switches between A and B every time it gets called. So to do that, after pressing A, I want us to I'd say create a widget, and the class I'll set it to inventory. I'll go ahead and promote that variable, and I'll name it inventory. And then after setting it to variable, I'll then add to viewport. Yeah. So that's it. Anytime I press the tab key, it will be creating the widget and displaying it on the screen. So I also want to change that so that anytime I press it again, it automatically closes the inventory, basically our bag. So I'll call this and I'll say remove from parent, hook that up, and then hit compile, and then we can just test it out. So save everything, hit play, and I press tab. We can see on our right screen there is like items, so it keeps going back and opening, which is great. So I've also noticed that our widget is so transparent, and I'll go ahead and add, let's say, a border just to make sure that we control like the background of it. I'll do border, but before that I'll take our vertical box, cut it first, add our border to the size box, make sure it's filled horizontally and vertically, then add back our, after selecting the border, we can just control V, paste it back to paste back our vertical box. So I'll go to the border and I'll change some properties just to make sure it's a bit different. I'll reduce the opacity and I'll change it to a bit of black, grayish, just right there. Compile, save that, and when we come back and hit play, so when we hit tab, you can see there is the items menu. It's quite different. Yeah. So that's it for like displaying the inventory, but we want to be able to get all the items that are in the bag, in our bag, and display them on our widget. That was the purpose of this video. So I'll go ahead and go to player and just grab our bag component, and then we are going to get all the items. So get items, since we already have all the items, I'm going to create a variable inside our widget blueprints that gets like all the variables, all the items that we have. So I'll go ahead and create a variable, go to graph, go to variables, and I'll name it player items. Type, it would be struct items. Right here, and then I'm going to change the variable type to an array. Then the last thing would be make it editable, instant editable, and then expose on spawn. So once we compile and save that, when you go back to our player, remember these are where we are creating the variables. So we're going to right click and refresh nodes, and then you can see the variable is exposed. So I'll hook that up here and then compile. Save that. That's great. So having completed that, we'll go back to our player items, and we want now to basically display like a list of all the items that the player has. And to do that, I'll go ahead and create another widget. So I'll duplicate the interrupt and I'll name it widget blueprint item. Right? So save that, or I'll name it inventory item. Go ahead and save that, open it up, and we can maintain this stuff the way they are. So I'll put this at the center, and the text is where we are going to change a bit. So I'll just say item name, compile, save, and I want us, so the same thing that we've done with our widget, just exposing this variable right here, we want to do so for our item. So to do that, I'll go straight and add. So remember, we had the name, we had the amount, and we had the icon. So I'll go ahead and add like a vertical box for that, and will display all the properties. So I'll quickly cut our name and add a vertical box, and then from the vertical box I can add, let me first add the name so that you don't forget, and then I'm going to add an image, and then after adding the image I'm going to add another text. Yeah, I'm going to add another text, and also like to make it like let the name appear like in the same line with the items amount. I want to add a horizontal box, add it under the vertical box, and then take this name in the horizontal and also this one to be inside. So the two will be inside, and the icon would be on top. So I'll quickly resize that to anything that I want. Let's go ahead and resize that. Also make sure that our box and our horizontal box are set to fill. Set that to fill, and on the ratio here I'll change this to 0.1, and I'll change the image to 0.8, or maybe rather 0.6. Yeah, that's even better. Yeah, so go ahead and put this here. This one I'll align it to the far left, and then also make sure these are set to fill. This to fill. So since the item name is the first one, we'll put it here, and then we'll have the number over here. So let's just say 0. Put it at the center. Name, I'll put it at the line to the left, and then I'm going to quickly create a variable again, and this time round we are going to set it to a single element. So I'll call it struct items, making sure that it's editable, export on spawn. I'll name it, I'll just name it an item, then compile, save, go back to our inventory, and we want every time we get this. So I just want to like do quick bindings for our text and images. So I'll do that and go to bind, and under item there is we can't get the name, so you don't have to worry about that. We can just create a binding, and under this amount we can just go ahead and create amount. So in the name I'll do a create binding, and I'll grab our items and break, and just set the item name right here. So it's not picking up, but I'll just do like to string, or maybe to text, and then set that up here. So that's like the only issue with enums. I mean, sometimes it doesn't take the name straightly and convert it to text, so you have to manually convert it, like kind of semi-automatically convert it. So I'll go back again. Remember, we have the icon here, and I'll do another binding, and I'll do a create binding, and then remember we can see that this is like a slate brush asset. So I'll get this and break. Then we can just get the icon. When we grab that, we can say it's not working. So I'll say make slate brush from assets or from texture, and then we are going to not compatible with the object. I can see we have compatibility issues, but I can say pass to text.2d and so we'll make sure it's, because it's an object, so we won't get like any issues. So once that is done, quickly compile, save, and let's go back to, let's just resize our widget a bit. I think that's okay for me, but I don't know if it will fit, so we'll just have to try it out. Go back to our testing map, not testing map. We want to make sure that every time we open this widget, we populate our widget with the player items. So I'll get the player items, and under this event construct, I'll get for each loop. So basically for each item that we have in our bag, I'll go ahead and create a widget. And then I'll select this type to be the inventory item, and you can see our item is popping up right here. Connect that, and this time instead of adding to the viewport, we want to add it to this vertical box, not vertical, but scroll box. So I'll select the scroll box and save it as a list. Then I'll do like it's a variable check here, so when I go back I can access it. So I pick it here, and I'll just grab this and say add child. Let me see, add child. Connect these and make sure this is connected right here. So I'll quickly compile, save that. Also, for us to be safe, we can just be clearing our list first before populating it. So I'll do like a clear here. There is a clear children node. Lock it up. Just like a safe switch. You don't need it, because I assume every time we'll be populating the list, it's always creating the widget. So that being said, I'll go ahead and go for the testing map, hit play. When we press tab, we have nothing on our items list. So when I'm going to pick a few batteries, this battery, yeah, and add this one too. When I press tab, you can see it has a list of items. So we have 2 batteries, and it should have an icon. So I hit back tab, and I'll pick up, maybe this was, what was this? I don't remember. This is the motherboard. And when I hit tab, you can see you have 2 batteries and 2 motherboards. So that's it for today's video. I really appreciate your support, and it's what's keeping me like wanting to create more content for you. So I think that will be enough for basic UI for our inventory. We'll come back to our inventory when we need. So right now we are happy with what we have already. I'll pick up a few things. Yeah, press tab, you can see you have 3 motherboards and 2 batteries. I'll pick this up. Hit tab, you can see it's always updating, right? So that's it for today. If you find this content useful, remember to subscribe and always drop a like. See you.